Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to BNC Now. It is Thursday, June 11th. I'm Laverne McGee.
And I am Anthony Amy, and once again, Laverne, it is a busy day. Another busy day, particularly.
Strike and apology. Vogue's Anna Wintour is apologizing in an internal email for, quote, mistakes made in her 32-year tenure in not doing enough to elevate Black voices on her staff and publishing images and stories that have been racially and culturally hurtful or intolerant. The fashion legend wrote in an email today, "I take full responsibility for those mistakes." In her email, Wintour referenced the country's historic and heartbreaking moment after the death of George Floyd and other people of color at the hands of police. Events which, as we know, have sparked rage and grief and protests that have played out for more than 2 weeks around the world. Wintour did not specify what content. Hilton says it's cutting 2,100 corporate jobs as it faces the worst crisis in the hotel chain's 101-year history. In a statement, the company says it is a time of unprecedented challenges for the travel and tourism industry. Analytics company STR reports between late March and early April that about 21% of hotel rooms in the U.S. were occupied. Data shows occupancy rates have improved since then, but still show a sharp decline for the year. In response, Hilton Worldwide Holdings says it is also extending previously announced furloughs and reduced work hours. Corporate pay cuts will be in place for up to an additional 90 days. Welcome back, everyone. The president of Honduras has announced that he has tested positive for the coronavirus, joining a small group of world leaders infected with the pandemic that has swept the globe and reached into the halls of power of several governments. In a televised statement late Tuesday, President Juan Orlando Hernandez said his wife and 2 of his aides have also become infected. Mr. Hernandez says he had been receiving treatment and was well enough to continue working remotely and would be examined to determine the next steps. Welcome back, everyone. We've got some final thoughts as usual. Jane, a couple of interesting developments on the social media side, because we know that social media is a big part of the way that people are getting their news. Facebook and Instagram are rolling out a new feature that will allow users to turn off political ads as we head up to the 2020 election.
Really?
So, yeah, so if you're on
emotional
Facebook,
rest.
yeah, so if you're on Facebook and you just want to use it to talk with your families or post pictures of what you're doing, you can turn that function off so that you don't get pulled into the mix of all of that stuff. So that's interesting. Twitter also announced today that you can now use audio. You can use your voice to tweet.
That I heard, right.
And the funny thing is, people are saying, we don't even want to read your tweets, let alone hear your voice. I mean, people are making jokes about it, but of course, it's a handy thing. Zoom, which we've all been using Zoom, of course, many businesses and companies we use Zoom here to do interviews with people who can't come into our studio, and people are using Zoom to work from home. Zoom has announced that they are providing end-to-end encryption to all users because there was such a privacy backlash. Of course, people not wanting people to hack into their meetings or listening in to their meetings when you don't even realize it. So those announcements in terms of tech. And then, of course, our other top story that we've been talking about, Jane, is the arrest and charges of the officers in Atlanta who are charged in the killing of Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta, who died in the Wendy's parking lot, near the Wendy's parking lot in Atlanta.
And